At this time, we're going to open the March 5th meeting for the Carver Conservation Commission. And first order of business will be reading and approving, hopefully, our minutes from February 19th. Does anyone see any need for changes in it, as written? In the minutes, just the minutes. Sorry. February 19th, I'm looking at. These minutes, that's what we're. That's old stuff. Don't you have the rest of the pages of it?
It probably
Must be
did.
there somewhere. Clean up. Looks like I'm in the car.
Make a motion to approve the February 19th minutes.
Okay, could we have a second on that?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as written for the February 19th meeting of the Carver Conservation Commission. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Approved 4-0. Then we have a discussion and possible vote on issuance of a partial COC for Miles Standish Drive, which,
So, Mr. Chair. So historically, Miles Standish Drive has been problematic when it comes to certificates of compliance, because when the subdivision was first built, the whole parcel, the whole plot of land was filed under the same DEP number. And of course, even when they assigned different lot numbers, those can often change. In this case, we got lucky because I'll try to keep it short, but we did a little bit of research on what if any portion of Miles Standish had been an accepted way at town meeting. And we found reference to two articles in 2001. And the way they reference it is between station, 30 point something
Survey
and
station.
50 point something. And of course, the only plan any of us could find was the one that stopped just before this lady's house. Okay, so we went up to the attic. Long story short, we found the second phase of the plan. And as it turns out, she lives on part of the road that was actually an accepted way. So I'm thinking that we can actually give a complete certificate for her lot, because she is requesting it under her current map and lot number. It's not under some big
right.
subdivision map and lot. And one of the reasons there was a question originally was because in the order of conditions, it references a drainage pipe. And so we asked around too, and with the DPW and so on, and once a street is accepted, I mean, that, I don't believe would have been accepted had it not been something that the DPW was okay with, so.
Do we have a number for the House
Number 38, Miles Standish Drive. And
Okay.
it's map 126, lot 9-51. Sorry, map 125, I beg your pardon.
9-51?
Correct.
Okay. So with that information in hand, I think that we can move to vote on this. So could we have a motion to approve the issue of a certificate of compliance for 38 Miles Standish Drive on map 125-9-51?
No, lot 9-51.
Lot.
You want a motion?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the certificate of compliance for 38 Miles Standish Drive. It's a partial certificate, actually.
No, well, this one's going to be a
Yeah, full.
complete certificate.
Yep.
We had put partial on the, originally, because we weren't sure we could find all this information,
Okay,
so.
so the certificate of compliance.
I second.
Okay, any questions by commissioners? No. It's been moved and seconded to issue a certificate of compliance for 38 Miles Standish Drive. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Passed unanimously, 4-0.
Thank you. We'll get that out as soon as we can, and we'll get it recorded
And
from, you know what? We're gonna need some checks from you to do that, just the one.
money.
Do you wanna? Yeah. Yeah,
Or you can check in with us next week if it's more convenient for you. All
Okay.
right, give us a call and we'll set up an appointment.
We'll
Okay,
come knock
thank
on
you.
the door if it doesn't arrive. Okay, our annual report is up for review and
The
approval.
signature page?
Yes, coming right up.
Signature.
Yeah. I'm seeing it. Report looks good.
Yeah, I noticed a couple of things that, I need to change per something that Dan brought up a couple years back.
Go ahead, blame it on me.
No, it was a good point. It's the next to the last paragraph. Instead of reduce your future residential property tax increases, it really should be slow. Just slow the increase. Because you're probably never gonna necessarily reduce, but you can slow the rate of increase.
Slow to reverse.
So I'll make that change.
Okay. So, with that one correction, shall we move to approve the annual report as written?
I so move.
I'll second it.
Been moved to and seconded to approve the annual report as written with the one correction on the next to last paragraph. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, and it's just right on time. So, notice is hereby given in accordance with the Mass Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw, that a public hearing will be held at 7:15 p.m. on Wednesday, March 5th, 2014, in Meeting Room 1 at the Carver Town Hall to hear the notice of intent for the Town of Carver Department of Public Works for a rehabilitation project designed to improve roadway infrastructure and pedestrian access on approximately 2.3 miles of Main Street / Route 58 through Carver. A portion of the project is within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands and isolated vegetated wetlands. Portions of the project are within the 200-foot and 100-foot riverfront area to the South Meadowbrook and will alter 22,575 square feet of riverfront area. Portions of the project are also within 65 feet of wetland resource area and will require variance or variances from the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw. The north project limit of North Main Street reconstruction is 260 feet north of Purchase Street, in front of properties number 1 Quaker Road on the east side of North Main Street and number 3 Old Main Street on the west side of North Main Street. The south project limit of Main Street reconstruction is 75 feet south of South Meadow Road in front of properties number 3 Crescent Street on the east side and side, there's nothing on the west side. Side streets within the project limits include Old Main Street, Purchase Street, Sylva Street, Batola Lane, Chance Court, Center Street, West Street, Carver Square Boulevard, and South Meadow Road. All interested parties are invited to attend. And, sir, if you'd introduce yourself.
Absolutely. My name is Gene Crouch. I'm a senior environmental scientist.
You can-
Closer?
You can actually take it out of the holder and walk around with it.
Okay.
Hold it really close, because it's for the folks at home, sorry.
My name is Gene Crouch. I'm a senior environmental scientist with Van Essing and Breslin. And with me tonight is Ross Morrow. He's the project manager for this, also with Van Essing and Breslin. Very quickly, I want to give you first an overview of the project, just to orient everyone. The upper or northern limit of the project is here at this intersection, which is Purchase Street and Silva Road. It continues south about 2.3 miles through the center of town and ends down at the intersection with South Meadow, a little bit south of this intersection, and will include improvements and reconstruction to the roadway. Right now, the roadway is pretty consistent in lane widths, but there's other things that are going to be added with this project. In particular, I'm going to go to the plan set that you received, and I find it's easier to project these than it is to have a million boards to show the same thing. This is essentially a typical layout of what we're proposing to do throughout the project. It will change from location to location slightly, But essentially, we're going to be providing two 11-foot lanes. So there'll be no increase in lanes. They'll just be consistently 11 feet throughout. We're adding 5-foot shoulders on either side, and then a 5.5-foot sidewalk on one side or both sides throughout the course of the project. There's also other little distances, level areas, and so forth to get back to existing. In some areas, there'll be guardrail put in that will also take up some of the width of the project limit. We're also going to be doing some intersection improvements to help better define the intersections, make them function better. And in particular, the road right out here is an offset intersection with the street across the street, and Meadowbrook is going to be altered slightly so that it comes into an opposite intersection, so you don't have that offset intersection. So you've got one, everybody's looking at everybody else when they come to the intersection. We are working within jurisdictional areas, and in particular, there are adjacent to the project. This is the northern end of the project, as I said. The first wetland we come to is what we've identified as wetlands 1 and 2. Wetland 1 is a cranberry bog that comes fairly close to the road. Wetland 2 is a forested shrub wetland with a fair amount of water in it on the west side of the road. Yes,
So may I interject?
sure.
So we're talking about Gary Weston's bog and the wetland across the street from him.
Continuing south on the road, there's a small wetland we identify as wetland 3. By the way, the green lines represent the buffer zones, the 100-foot buffer zone. I made the brownish color for cranberry bogs just to make them stand out different from a natural wetland. So there's a small natural wetland that comes up against the edge of the road. In this location, there's an embankment to the road, so it sort of confines the wetland. Continuing to by the way, this from here connects down to the lower section, just so you understand how they go together. Wetlands 4, 5, and 6 are a natural wetland system on the east side that drains to a cranberry bog on the south side, on the west side, with a small sort of open connecting wetland in between that seems to have some controlled structures in it.
So we're talking about the wetland behind the Sedels and then Mike Paddock's bog and the connection between them.
Continuing down, we come into essentially the center of town. Here's where Meadowbrook comes in, and currently Meadowbrook comes down about here. That is not lined up with West Street. We're going to reconfigure Meadowbrook slightly so it lines up with West Street, so it'll be a more efficient intersection. And then continuing on down to the end of the project to South Meadow Road. This is South Meadow Brook that comes across the road. There's a fairly large wetland complex that's associated with it. And then in this location, this is a perennial river, so the blue line represents the limit of the riverfront area, 200-foot riverfront area, and then the green, again, is the 100-foot buffer zone. We've got large scales, which are included as the plan set of each one of these, and we can go to the wetlands directly. So as I say, this is wetland 1 and 2. Whoop. I didn't want to move that. We are showing erosion controls on our plans that are separating us from the adjacent wetland. These show up as a line type that you might think of as hay bales, which is what we typically use for an erosion control. DOT will be building this project, and they prefer to use compost filter tube. It goes down in long lengths, so you eliminate all those seams along the way, so it actually it's easier for them to put in, and they prefer to use that.
What's that wrapped in?
It's actually it is wrapped in a synthetic polyester type fabric, but they are required to take that out at the end and then just scatter the compost. The compost is just organic material that you would use in your garden. So no, that is required to come out at the end of the job and be collected. It's a lot less material to throw away at the end than. Continuing, again, this is the 100-foot buffer zone. We do also show the 65-foot no disturb zone on our plans. We are asking for a waiver from no building within that zone because we couldn't do the project without it. And this is just a little continuation on the other sheet. I'll try not to move these too quickly because I know it can be disorienting. This is wetland 3. As I say, it's a small wetland area. We didn't flag the entire wetland. We just kind of flagged up and down and around as it comes in proximity to the road. And I try to carry the flagging far enough away from the road to indicate that the wetland is actually moving away from the road, so that there's no confusion about that. And again, the buffer zone and the 65-foot zone. Again, erosion controls through this area. Now we're at wetlands 4, 5, and 6. There's the natural wetland number 4, which is on the east side of the road. There's this small little. There's sort of a dirt road that passes through here that separates the bog from this little isolated area. And as I recall, that there was a sluice gate device in there to control water flow into the bog. This is Meadowbrook Way. The current configuration of the road is it touches down right in through here. You can sort of see the dash lines underneath it. Right here. We're going to be turning it so it lines up with West Street so that this intersection, as I say, will function like a typical four-way intersection. These little green blobs that we're showing here, we don't have a lot of opportunity in this project because of its narrow right-of-way that we're dealing with to do stormwater management. This is one area that we can. It's town-owned land. In this case, it's in the location of the old road. What we're proposing to do here are put a couple of rain gardens in. We can't do too much with them in terms of the amount of area that's contributing to it, but we're trying to get what we can out of it to make it a little bit better. And I might add, throughout the project, catch basins that are replaced will be replaced with deep sump catch basins.
I was just going to ask what kind of stormwater upgrades you're doing.
Basically, deep sump catch basins, the existing drainage patterns and outlets will be maintained. And then in this case, we actually are, to contribute water to these rain gardens, we're actually picking up rainwater that will be on either from the parking lot at the town hall or from Meadowbrook Way, not actually from Main Street, just because of the way the lay of the land is. We just can't get that water in here. But we're at least getting some impervious into this to get treated.
And it's certainly better than what it is now, because right now
That's
it
correct.
goes straight into South Meadowbrook behind the town hall.
We did look hard and long throughout the corridor, and we just really didn't have a lot of opportunity, so we're doing what we can.
So, if I can interrupt you again, so the the deep sump catch basins that you're going to put in, what are they replacing?
Whatever's out there. Many of the catch basins are being replaced just out of hand. Anything that is not already a deep sump catch basin will be replaced. Even in some cases, because the sideline of the road is being adjusted a little bit, where we're putting shoulders in, it'll push out the curbing or the edge of the road. So the catch basin has to be moved. In some cases, the grate could just be adjusted to meet the gutter line. So you wouldn't normally have had to replace the entire structure. If that structure isn't a deep sump, it will be replaced. If it's already a deep sump, we'll just adjust the grate and leave the structure in place. So, but in many cases, the structure has to be replaced because it's moving, the sideline of the road is moving more than you can just adjust the grate.
So is there any other treatment that you're doing, say, that would affect South Meadowbrook in a good way?
No.
So
Unfortunately,
no improvements down there?
not
You
at South
would have to
Meadow.
put a lot of catch basins in order to handle the water flow on that road.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Now's the time.
You know, without an outflow pipe, you know, you're talking like one every 50 feet or 40 feet.
Yeah, we can jump right here. This is South Meadow. There is a fairly steep embankment along here. So there's really no room to do anything on that side, certainly. For that matter, it's pretty steep on the other side as well. And this is pretty much the low area. Like I say, we look pretty hard about what we can do anywhere in the corridor, and we're really not able to come up with anything.
Is there anything down there now?
No.
Okay. So it's just overland flow?
No, there's catch basins and there's an outfall.
Well, that's what I was asking. You can pick that mic out of the thing there.
Right now, to my understanding, there's is it a 24-inch pipe that runs just north of where we're showing here, kind of behind the wetland, sort of to the east. And I believe there's a 4-bay back there right now
Okay,
that the town maintains.
okay.
It's been 2 years since I walked back there. It was in good condition at the time. I'll check it again to see how it's looking.
Well, they do pretty good maintenance.
Yeah.
I know that. I just didn't know if there was something that could make what's there better.
So that's sort of just on the left edge of what's being shown on the screen now. The catch basins down right at the wetland themselves, they all connect to the head walls of the culvert going under the road. So they're really are just going right to the wetland.
So nothing, you're not putting any deep sumps in them?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
any catch basin within the limits
That's what I
of the
wanted to
work.
hear. I want to know what
Sorry.
you're doing.
Any catch basin within the limit of the work that is not already a deep sump will be replaced
Okay.
with this project.
That's good.
So we're actually working with the DPW right now to get a more accurate inventory of those
Okay,
to make sure we have them labeled correctly on our plans and everything's accounted for.
that's awesome. Great, thank you.
But you'll still have the pipe and connecting all of them. under the
Right.
Oh,
road.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it'll reduce the amount going out the overflow pipe by having the deep sumps.
Yeah.
But it won't get rid of it all.
Right, but it's better, yes.
Good enough.
Now, we are working, the only resource area, wetland resource area we're working in is riverfront area, which is right here. And basically, we're working, this is pretty much, I think goes up a little ways and then out to here. So this is pretty much our work limit within riverfront, and the riverfront again is these blue lines. It's about 22,000 square feet of riverfront area, of which 16,000 is already paved, which is the existing road. So it's not a whole lot additional beyond the existing roadway that we're working within. We are pushing out the sideline on this side a little bit to make room for the sidewalk. But not the full amount, not the full 5.5 feet. If you look, and I'm zooming in on this, this is the existing guardrail now, and you can see that's gonna be the new guardrail. So we're actually taking up some of the roadway with the sidewalk, so that only half the width of the sidewalk is really getting pushed out beyond the existing, shoulder of the road. So we did that intentionally, obviously, because it is a steep embankment here. There's obviously a resource area. We try to minimize any encroachment, getting any closer to that resource.
Oops.
So,
Mr. Chair, I have another question. I have another question for you. So the roughly 6,000 square feet that's not roadway, that's in the
That's correct.
front area. Is there anything that you're planning on doing? I mean, you're not like, are you or aren't you? I don't know, gonna like rip up the 6,000 square feet and then put something back? Or is it just that people are gonna be tramping around on it? Or when you say it's gonna be altered, I guess, what does that mean?
Yeah, the area, what we're talking about is the area within the erosion controls. And that's being done because the road is being pushed out a little bit for the sidewalk, for putting in shoulders and so forth. So there's gonna be a little side grading and so forth along outside. That will be loamed and seeded when we're done. Now, on this side, this is riprap already on this side, isn't it?
No, there's no riprap in
None?
that area.
Okay. No, it'll just be, I thought there was riprap on that slope, but no, it'll just be loamed and seeded at the end. So, yes, we're altering 6,000 square feet. Some of that will become the roadway within the roadway footprint, but a lot of it will just become loamed and seeded at the end and allowed to
Do
be
you have that
revegetated.
number, what the net increase of impervious surface is?
The net increase in impervious for the whole project is about 68,000 square feet.
Just here in the river?
Not just here. I do, actually. I just don't have it in my head. Apologize. Because, as I say, we've got 16,464 square feet of degraded riverfront already. And about 6,111 square feet of undegraded riverfront that we're working within. Actually, this doesn't say what is going to become paved. I did not calculate that, I apologize. We can I can get you that number, though. I assumed you wanted to do a site walk,
Oh, yes.
I was
always.
told. So we can, we'll get that number for you in time for the site walk.
Are you all gonna start at one end and walk the whole way?
You betcha.
With abandoned
Make
flags.
sure you have the ambulance there waiting at the end.
Oh, I beg your pardon. So you'll get that for
Yep.
us, Gene, then?
Yeah, we'll figure out what that additional impervious is in the riverfront area.
Excellent.
Oh, is that right? It's about 800 square feet.
Okay, that was quick.
We have a computer over here.
Ah, I see.
I have no questions.
Make a motion to continue the hearing till when?
March 19th? Well, I don't know. Yeah, we'll probably be able to walk it. I think so.
It's getting warmer. It's gonna be in the 40s this weekend.
For one
It's gonna be a
day.
heat wave.
Wait, right?
Well, we'll see if,
Make a motion to continue to March 19th.
Second.
been moved and seconded to continue the hearing until March 19th. Any discussion otherwise? No? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Pass unanimously.
You know what, we
Sorry.
forgot to ask, there was a member of the public who wanted to say something.
Oh, did, okay.
open?
Do we have anybody that would
She's
like to
good.
say something?
She says she's
She
good.
said
Oh,
she's all
good?
set.
Okay. Are you an abutter of the project?
One of those sites, so,
Okay, what, where's your property?
51 Main Street,
Oh.
the little one in.
Catherine Young?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
You and Maine, okay. All right, so that's good. Well, that concludes it for tonight, I think.
Do you want to set a date for the site walk?
Oh, okay.
We could, it's kind of up to you. What we usually do is I try to find at least 2 of them who are available. You give me some dates,
Whatever's,
and we just kind of email
do you do it on weekends or during the week?
During the week usually.
during the week usually.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
They do that to prevent me from going.
Oh, that's not true.
Gone to you.
I'll call you tomorrow then, and I'll give you some dates. My calendar doesn't work on
Okay,
right now.
all right.
Um,
And, yeah, Peg is only here part-time, so if I'm not in the
Oh,
office,
that's right, you're not
you're
in
welcome
Illinois
to
tomorrow.
call. But if I don't answer, you can
We
also
listen to voicemail.
email.
Okay,
Yeah, email is always very good.
all right, I can send you some dates that
Sure,
way.
that
Maybe that's
sounds good.
easiest.
Will we get everyone to autograph? Did you sign in?
We all signed in, yes.
Thank you.
Oh, good. Did you sign in?
So, all righty,
Great, thank you.
very good.
You're gonna have to carry a copy of this with us on the board, too.
And, oh, I know, Ross, I had one more question for you. I know I got the plans, but for some reason, I don't remember whether they're also have the wetland on them. They do. They're not
Oh,
just
yeah,
like
they do.
layout plans.
They
or-
do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Page.
those colored, I just colored in the lines that
Right.
are on the plans.
Okay.
So they're there, it just may not be real obvious.
So what's here on paper is also part of that set. I just didn't look through the whole set.
Yep.
Okay, good. Thank you.
The plans that I showed that were colored in, those are the plans we provided.
Excellent. Okay.
What's that jellyfish
No,
doing?
but I mean, are they the ones that Ross sent me to online?
No, I actually sent
Oh.
you the full construction package that we submitted to DOT.
Okay. It was very long.
Number.
Yeah. But I mean,
Oh.
does it have,
Yes, it has those plans, minus there's a bunch of property information.
yeah,
Um,
that's fine.
So it's all there.
Good. Excellent. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
excellent.
Thank you.
You bear with me a second while I take myself apart.
And so, on the next item, 82 Forest Street, did we decide to continue that?
Yes, the applicant has asked for a continuance.
Continuance? Okay.
Till when?
We'll try it again until the 19th. Try it for the 19th.
Make a motion to continue the RDA for 82 Forest Street to March 19th.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded to continue the RDA hearing for 82 Forest Street to March 19th. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Passed unanimously, 4-0. And then we have 4th Street. Now, were we going to have somebody?
Okay, so
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I spoke with, on the next case, which is the Purchase Street
Mhm.
one. That's been walked, everything's fine. It came to my attention today from the town administrator that there might be some more negotiations going on in terms of maybe additional plantings. And so I called the engineer, Rich Rion, and he actually asked for a continuance. He was going to email it to me. I haven't gotten it, but I promise he did. Basically, it doesn't make any sense for us to close it, and then he's got to resubmit to plant more trees. I mean, so it's just a kind of a little more of a buffer, probably on the
On the west side.
west side mostly.
Yeah,
right?
along the,
Mhm.
in the 65-foot wetland.
Well, it would be
There.
it would be right on the outside of the fence, which is
Hmm.
roughly at the 65-foot line, but that's not a variance issue because it's not a structure, so.
I know Mr. Hunter spoke a little bit to me, and
Yep.
I didn't see that we should have a problem if they even did want to put it, though, in the 65-foot area, because it's all natural.
It's just trees, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Some question was raised about wanting to put another berm in, and I said, no, I don't think
I
we'd
don't-
allow that,
And
because
I don't think that's,
that would be
I think it's
mechanized
more trouble
equipment.
than it's worth, really.
Yeah.
So,
So,
And besides, that's the side that's farther away from the houses on Great Meadow anyway.
Yes,
so
yes.
And they're getting a berm, as I understand it.
yes, they are
It's
getting a berm,
not our
right.
issue, but. Thank you both.
Take care, thanks.
Night.
Okay, well then, so we need a motion then to continue that, I guess, again.
I'll make a motion to continue Purchase Street, to what, 19th?
19th again.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to continue the hearing on Purchase Street to March 19th. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any other discussion about it? Pass unanimous. Okay. We have a budget, oh yes, the rest of our, we have bills to pay, and that's it. So, Hank will pass us the, got the copy already, Dan?
Make a motion to approve the bills of $1,379.36.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded to pay the bills of, what, $13.79?
36.
36. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Pass unanimously. And the next item would be, I think, a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass unanimously.